Hello, dear guests. I'm Roland Gunther, homeopath in Royston, and I'm really happy to, on this wonderful spring day, sunny, a little bit noisy with all the planes flying around, to take you out here in the forest again. And our dog Brody is accompanying me and of course supporting me strongly. It's great. So today, you see, I'm leaning at a cedar tree here, and the cedar tree is really special, and it's the other very characteristic tree of the Northwest. The Douglas fir for sure is the dominant tree here, and we talked about the Douglas fir in my last video, and if you have not seen it, maybe you want to check it out. And here, this is a cedar, and you see how I'm standing here. Automatically I touch it. This is so soft and gentle to touch a cedar tree. It's just beautiful. A Douglas fir feels more rough and rugged and like an unshaved grandpa or grumpy old grandpa or something like that, yeah. Whereas here the cedar tree is really, you almost feel like cuddling with it in a way. And the cedar tree, yes, has really a much more feminine character. With this smooth bark, the softness of the bark, and its leaves that are drooping, and the branches are drooping, and the leaves are hanging down like the hair of a woman. And with its wonderful smell, when you take a little bit of a cedar and just rub it between your fingers, oh, it's wonderful aromatic smell. So it has many really feminine qualities. And when you imagine, native people used to make their clothes out of the inner bark, out of the bark of a cedar tree, woven into clothes. And you can imagine, you could not do that with a Douglas fir, yeah, but the cedar tree, it's lovely to feel it on the skin. So I talked with a Douglas fir about how it's a protector and a guardian that guards from the outside. The cedar tree has a different way of cleansing us. Native people use the cedar tree often in their sweat lodges as smudge, or as a tea, or as when you take a ceremonial bath, like to cleanse yourself, to heat yourself with a branch. And there's further in the east, in Canada, like Ojibwe people, they make whole sweat lodges out of the branches of the cedar tree and cover it with cedar branches, and they sit on cedar, and they splash the hot rocks with cedar. And so the cedar tree has very strong medicine power. Let me tell you a little bit about it. You know, cedar trees are very adaptable. They can adapt to different circumstances. Like when a cedar tree can't grow straight up, it goes in curve, yeah. Douglas firs usually don't do that, yeah. Either they just grow as straight as they want to, or they give up, yeah. Cedar tree are very accommodating. They grow around something. They can deal with a lot more. So there's gardeners that use cedar trees as hedges, because you can trim them and hide behind the hedges, yeah, make very dense hedges. Others, they trim them in spirals, in cubes, in balls, in the most crazy shapes you can give to them, and they survive it. But one thing, they never forget that they are a cedar tree. So as soon as you let go of this outside influence, then they remember who they really were. They remember their kind of original blueprint, and they grow again a straight trunk, and become a cedar tree after a while. So what does that mean? In medicine, we use, both in traditional medicine but also in homeopathy, we use cedar. In homeopathy it's called thuya, as a remedy and as a support when we got confused about ourselves, who we are inside. When something was pushed into us that is not really us. And when we were forced to adapt a shape that is not really our shape. So it can be when we are suffering after a vaccination, something that had come from the outside into us, and then our immune system is confused and, oh, what's that? It's already inside. Is this me or is this not me? Yeah, and they start attacking it, and sometimes when the confusion is great, later on the immune system might even attack the healthy body tissue and create autoimmune diseases in that way. Cedar can be a wonderful help in cases like that, when people suffer from the bad effects or consequences of vaccinations. But it can be also that there's belief systems, guilt, things forced into us. Like when parents offer the child a guidance to grow into also a spiritual, religious awareness, that's something wonderful. When parents use religion as a threat and with feelings of guilt and fear of punishment, force a certain belief system into the child, that's a problem. Because this is like the child gets distorted and gets crooked and does not find its natural straightness and clarity and its ability to see what's being offered from the world and what do I take on and to what do I say no. So if I sum that up, the Douglas fir was more a guardian and protector from the outside. The cedar is really a cleanser and a healer when something already came inside of us. And how can we use cedar? Many different ways. You can't just, when you find a branch of, gee, my dog sits on this branch, a branch of the cedar that you find under a cedar tree, take it with you and just smell it once in a while. Hold it in your hand while you meditate. Allow it to come into you. In homeopathy, we use this as homeopathic remedies with remedies that hold the energy, not the substance anymore, but the energy of the cedar tree. And of course, in homeopathy, that has to be very, very specifically, and you better ask a homeopath than doing that yourself. But what we can do is just meet the cedar tree and sit with it and meditate with it and allow it to come into ourselves and work on us. You see, all the trees, every herb, everything that's alive in the forest has healing properties, and he is here to support us and happy to support us on our journey. What they need back from us is an acknowledgement and a thank you. And once again, I would like to remind you that the old cedar trees need our support. Ancient forest, old forest, first growth forest, old growth forest, they need our support. Here on Vancouver Island we have very few left of those, and they're still being cut down day by day, and it's a shame. It's less than about 5% left here on Vancouver Island, and probably where you are living it might not look much better. But when you can, support organizations that stand up for our forest. We should not only walk through the forest and take in its gifts for us. Yeah, this is more a consumer attitude. Yeah, When we really love nature, then we also are looking for giving something back. Yeah, what can we do? How can we contribute? And so I would like to encourage you again to check out websites, for example, of the Sierra Club or of the Ancient Forest Alliance. Just Google it and check out their websites. That's people there that are very, very passionate about protecting old growth forests, and they badly need our support. We really need to protect the old trees and ancient forests, what's left, because there's not much left and it's getting less and less. But there's a whole community of relational network of animals and plants that need these old growth forests, and also our kids and grandkids need to have places where they still can experience an old growth forest. So please check that out and don't look away. For myself, and I said this before, it's really hard sometimes to look at that, to look at what's happening, and I'd rather move on, look at something at a different, more joyful website, than really allow that to sink in, the pain and the grief that's connected with facing something like that. But we need to look. When we look away and don't do anything, when we look away, we condone what's happening. We are part of what's happening. We have to look. So this is my plea. I want to ask you to do that, and that would be wonderful. Thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to meet you another time. Have a good day. Bye.